This week on Maker Update, a wild-eyed costume idea, over 2,000 guides, a Xenomorph Candy Bucket, a creepy beating heart, mobile coding, keychords, IoT security, and CircuitPython in space. Hello and welcome to another Adafruit edition of Maker Update. I'm Tyler Weingartner, taking a break from behind the scenes in this show to take a turn in front of the camera, give Donald a break while he's working on a couple of projects, probably something Halloween related. We've got a wonderfully spooky show for you, so let's get right into it with the project of the month. Feast your eyes on this incredible project by Phil Burgess. His monster mask Toon hat combines some of the newest tech with the oldest trick in the book. Powered by Adafruit's latest spooktacular hardware, he's using the classic Pepper's Ghost illusion to project these wild cartoon eyes directly over his normal, boring human eyes. And the result? Seeing really is believing. If you haven't heard of Pepper's Ghost, it's a really old and simple illusion that's been used everywhere, from Disney's Haunted Mansion to giving Tupac Shakur one last performance from beyond the grave. It goes like this. You can use a reflective, transparent surface, like glass, to reflect an image from a location the audience can't see. Because the surface is transparent, the reflection will appear to float in mid-air as you're able to see whatever is behind the reflection. For this project, Phil has mounted the monster mask above the brim of the hat, where he's cut a pair of holes for the two screens to show through. The reflection is handled by a tempered glass phone screen protector mounted directly in front of his eyes. The result is a delightfully creepy illusion that's adaptable to a ton of different costumes and characters. It's time for some news. As of this posting, the Adafruit Learning System has over 2,000 guides online and ready to feed your hungry maker brain. The first guide, originally hosted on ladyada.net, was a tutorial for TTL serial cameras. Now it's grown into a huge collective for maker learning. If you haven't already, make sure to check out their tentpole introductions to Neopixels, the Feather platform, and Adafruit I/O. Max Holliday has been making waves in the CircuitPython world, integrating it into his research at Stanford University. He's created PyCubed, a framework for radiation-hardened CubeSat boards that are programmable entirely in Python. His work on this project earned him the grand prize at the Keysight IoT competition for his work measuring ammonia concentrations in water. He took some time out to chat with Lady Ada and PT about his work. Let's get back to some projects. It's October, and if you're not already planning out your Halloween projects, we've got plenty to help get you inspired. Step up your trick-or-treating game with this alien Xenomorph Halloween Candy Bucket. It starts with this super cool store-bought Xenomorph bucket, and then adds a Circuit Playground Express and a pair of servo motors. The large continuous rotation servo makes use of this 3D printed frame to turn it into a linear actuator to extend the candy receptacle, while the second servo motor flips it over once it's back inside the bucket to add the candy to your stash. The code is all handled by MakeCode, and it's a great way to take your trick-or-treating this year to the next level. If you're looking for something a little less creepy and more fun, the Ruiz brothers just released this design for a 3D printed Lego minifig desk lamp. Left alone, it just pulses and glows, but if you give it a shake, it will change up its lighting and play sounds from the Lego movies.
Everything is awesome.
The sound playback is handled by the new Stemma speaker add-on. If you're looking for an easy way to add sound to your next project, give this one a look. The Ruiz brothers also have this guide for this pair of Neopixel Mickey ears. The project makes use of the Adafruit Gemma board, a great starting point for any wearable project. You have the option of a number of different addressable LED strips, and the interactivity is powered by a tilt switch, an easy way to add motion reaction to your projects if you don't want to deal with the complication of accelerometers. Aaron St. Blaine has this guide up for making this glowing scale armor. Each scale is printed in clear or glow-in-the-dark filament and is lit up by its own Neopixel. The circuit is controlled by a Gemma board hiding in its own 3D printed enclosure, and it's all coded in CircuitPython. Super cool. And finally, Dana Wall continues his projects based on anatomical hearts with this glowing, beating heart that responds to your touch. The 3D printed shell houses a Circuit Playground Express that uses a strip of conductive fabric to extend one of its capacitive touchpads to the outside of the heart enclosure. The result is this creepy beating heart that begins throbbing with blood red light as soon as you pick it up. You can take it further by printing it in blood red filament or by modifying the code and hardware to make it light up in time with your own pulse. Stepping away from the Halloween holiday for a hot second, Liz Clark has another great tutorial for making a motorized turntable to add production value to her photo and video work. The 3D printed enclosure houses a continuous rotation servo to handle the turntable movement, while a switch lets you change direction and a potentiometer adjusts the speed. There's another switch that changes the motor voltage between 3.3 volts and 5 volts. Liz found that the 5 volts allowed for smoother output from the motor, while switching to 3.3 volts let her get slower speeds for the turntable. If you're like me and you've been wanting to build a project like this for a while, head on over to the guide for all the details. Now for some tips and tools. If you've resigned yourself to the belief that every corner of the internet is awful, you owe it to yourself to pay a visit to the Adafruit Discord server. For the unfamiliar, Discord is an internet chat client for groups similar to Slack. The Adafruit Discord is a fantastic place to share your projects, get help with a project that stumped you, chat with other community members during a live stream, or just post pictures of your pets. It's the closest thing I've seen to my dream of a supportive maker community on the internet, and it's a wonderful place to hang out when working on projects. Glider is an app for mobile devices that allows you to edit your Python code wirelessly while you're on the go. The connection happens via Bluetooth, so you'll need to be working with a compatible board. But there's loads of cool touches like contextual keyboards that change depending on what values you're editing. You won't find it in any app stores just yet, but there's a Git repo to look over or contribute to if you want to help move the project forward. Speaking of mobile devices, Typecase is a protective case for your phone that also acts as a secondary keyboard. It's powered by a Feather 32U4 Bluetooth LE, and there's 5 tactile switches along the edge that you can use for keyboard inputs using keychords. Keychords use combinations of multiple simultaneous key presses to affect different key inputs. If you're a junkie for hotkeys in your favorite applications, keychords are a great way to hack old hardware into modern computer interfaces. On Machine Learning Monday, Adafruit ran a demo of MobileNet v2 on a Raspberry Pi 4. This allows the Pi to identify multiple objects within the camera's field of view and draw a bounding box around them. This code is all being run on the Pi itself and isn't offloading any computation to the cloud. Pretty impressive. Adafruit just released the 5th video in their DigiKey collaboration entitled All the Internet of Things, and this one is all about security for your IoT devices. We've all heard the horror stories of hackers turning on people's ovens in the small hours of the night, seizing control of thermostats, and even getting access to a casino through its smart fish tank. This video walks you through the common exploits so your device is less likely to fall prey to bad actors. With Halloween right around the corner, there's no better choice for this month's product spotlight than the Adafruit Monster Mask. This board sports a pair of 240 by 240 pixel IPS TFT displays powered by an M4 Cortex to crank out beautiful animations of monstrous peepers. The form factor places the screens at the standard human interpupillary distance of 63mm, but if you need something more monstrous, you can break the boards apart and reconnect them with a 9-pin ribbon cable. There's plenty of connectors for more hardware and additional sensors, and there's an onboard audio amp and 3.5mm headphone jack for sound effects and an on-off switch for easy power management. We're already seeing this show up in loads of projects, and hopefully we'll see it in yours. And that's gonna do it for this Halloween heavy show. Hopefully you've got a cool project in the works. If you do, be sure to tell us about it in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this show, give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. As always, huge thanks to Limor and Phil and the rest of the team at Adafruit for giving this show a home, and to our wonderful supporters on Patreon. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you soon.